I pledge allegiance to the United States of America, to the republic stands one nation under God, indivisible, with justice for all. Look for a motion to approve today's agenda. Number second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Look for a motion to approve the minutes for May 6th.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meetings attended, Scott?
I didn't have anything last week, although I did talk to Justin about the LP tank, because that guy was supposed to come down and he has not heard nothing from him. And I asked him, I said, was there somebody else we should be talking to? And he said he had a heck of a time finding this outfit. So I said, well, start rattling his chain every day.
Something special? I mean, would a plumber be able to?
Well, I think the tank that size is kind of specialized, because he said originally when that guy looked at it, he claimed that a lot of the stuff wasn't plumbed correct to start with. I mean, that's, and he said this outfit does tanks in several states, so, but yeah, I don't know what the delay is, but.
Well, between you and me, let's do a little research and see if we can't drum up somebody else. We need to get that.
Yeah, that's
resolved.
that's
so we
what
can. Now's the time to empty the tank, get it fixed, get it painted.
Yeah,
We're not dealing with it in October. So, okay.
that's all I have.
I attended a planning and zoning meeting where basically they brought the board of adjustments up to where they're currently at with the solar project that we know in. And sounds like June 26th, there's gonna be a meeting that evening where the company doing the project is coming to lay out their plan and,
This is for the new one from North.
yeah. And so,
What's that gonna be now?
well, it's in up in the bottom.
Well, I'm at the meeting.
Oh, the meeting, it'll be at the courthouse. Up in the courtroom.
June.
June 26th at 6:30.
All
The plan and zoning is still working on wind energy ordinance right now, so this is all coming, kind of crossing over.
Do we all, want to attend?
On the 26th?
If
Probably
we
would
do,
hurt.
If we do, I'll have her
Yeah.
put up an
Yeah.
agenda so we can
Yeah.
at least look it over and
Yeah,
be good. Anything else?
that's it.
I had a, emergency medical services meeting last Thursday on, where we're at funding wise, and we talked to all the ambulance services. The last couple of meetings, we've talked to the Louisa County ambulance about a mini ambulance. I kind of pushed them off a little bit until we could get some rounds of funding through, so we could see what our expenditures were and how it was going. It appears like it's going okay, so the board went ahead and approved the purchase of a new ambulance. We won't see it for up to maybe 2 years, so by then we should be okay. And then they also voted to purchase a new Lucas device for the Buffalo ambulance. Really business as usual for the other 3 ambulance services. There was nothing really new to update anybody on. And then they also discussed a maintenance sharing cost agreement with 911. That was kind of postponed, and they want to meet directly with the 911 board to work out the details, because it's so hard to make a decision at one board and send a runner back to another meeting there's something always lost in translation, so. That's gonna be sometime coming up soon. That was basically it on that meeting, other than finding a bunch of phone calls for security on the courthouse Saturday. I think they were here till what, you said midnight,
12:15.
doing that transfer over on power. And it seems to be up and running. I haven't heard anybody saying there's a glitch anywhere in the matrix.
Nothing
Not
yet.
But yeah, it was quite the deal Saturday. There was a lot of activity over there. I did sign some papers on transferring over, so hopefully here soon we'll be flipping the switch and making it work, so. Item number 5 is special claim. This is for the mower that we were holding off on until we got the bids, but it's here now. Total amounts $3,899 for the complex. I'd look for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the mower for the complex.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
I do have one question about that. Are we gonna try to mow the whole 10 acres with that mower?
I'm trying.
Okay.
The reason we didn't get a bigger one is because if you get a bigger one, it has the ropes over it, the roll of protection, and then you can't get underneath the solar. So it had to be just big enough. I think it was 2 inch, just big enough that you could still keep it in that residential thing.
It won't be 10 acres either. That range is mostly gonna be rock,
Okay,
and then the other side is gonna be prairie. And that would be a barrier going across, so his projections are, it's a little more than what it actually was.
Okay.
Yeah.
that's where the mower that size will wear out pretty quick. Knowing how much grass.
Absolutely, especially that prairie stuff.
Yeah,
You probably saw the email, we had 2 mowers go down last week.
yeah.
Our only 2 mowers. So I think they got them back up and going again. So.
That one here.
Mhm. Item number 6 is public
I missed it.
input. Anybody from the public got any input?
I guess.
Go ahead.
I handed out just some information that I thought might be helpful with the zone for the planning and zoning, and then for you folks too, on some stuff I found interesting. In developing a ordinance for wind power. I know that there's this sheet here that refers to Saragordo County. They had a company that was gonna put up a large solar complex. It was at least several hundred acre. I think it's like maybe 1,000. Can't remember the name of the company. But Saragordo, in their ordinance, they put in there at the bottom of this page 17. I just printed out part of it. But it says that it's prohibiting, basically it's prohibiting solar, wind, and battery on anything that's zoned ag. So that's what they did. Now, it's not a done deal because the company that's wanting to do this has gone to the Iowa Utilities Commission and are requesting them to step in and override the county, which I think is bad because we're supposed to be a home rule state. It's up to our people who we elect to make the ordinances. And if this was what the people wanted, this seems to me like there's a conflict there, what's going on. That's what that paper is. Also, there's this successful farmer. This is kind of old. It's a couple years old, maybe. No. Well, maybe not, just 1 year, excuse me. It's, of course, he's not our Secretary of Ag anymore, but Bill Sachs said that I highlighted He says, we know that there are concerns out there about whether renewable energy will overtake prime farmland. Obviously, or we are obviously encouraging use of non-prime farmland for purposes of renewable energy. And then he said a few more things. So I thought that's pertinent.
Who's the judge on what's prime and what's non-prime? Where's that?
We have a rating,
Yeah,
a crop rating.
there's a C.
By the value.
Yeah. Where they draw the line and say, okay, you know,
Yeah, I think if
at
it's,
this point, it's not prime.
I think if the CR,
CSR.
CSR is over
65,
65.
that's
it's
considered prime.
Shouldn't be used for that. I know in this new project up in the north end of Louisa County, there were a few parcels that went over that, but they were landlocked and.
Sure. And that's understandable.
And they're looking at alternative farming for some of those parcels. Whether it be, we talked some about putting in bee farms and stuff like that, so I don't know for sure what all they're gonna do.
Okay.
But it wasn't very much,
Yeah.
you know.
One more comment, or well, actually a couple more if I don't get buzzed here. I've been looking at different county setbacks from non-participating property lines. Adair County is 2,000 feet. Woodbury is 3,280 feet. Washington is 5,280 feet. Henry County has a proposal of 3,280 feet. And my guess is it's a 90% chance that ordinance is going to go in as read. They did their first reading. They scratched out a few little typos, 2 more readings, and then they vote. My guess is 90% chance it goes through as read. Madison County, 7,920 feet, 1.5 miles. Potawatomi is half mile, 2,640. Jefferson County, 2,640. Worth County is 3.75 times the turbine height. Now, these are some of the ones I'm in favor of. There's others out there that are lower than that, and I think they're too low. They're jeopardizing the health of their citizens by going too much lower than that. And there's proof out there to prove that, to justify it. So my question is, if they've done this, then, you know, why couldn't Louisa County? That's just a question, an open question.
Right.
That you don't need to answer it. So anyway, the other thing is I handed out was this paper here. It says Hawkeye State headwinds. It's put out by this Clear Path Lucid Catalyst. They're obviously a pro renewable energy. And the reason I found this interesting is they're pro renewable energy big time. But they're pointing out a few things that under their key takeaways, it says that down here on the front page, opposition to wind is growing, but causes are multifaceted. The prevalence and stringency of wind ordinances are increasing across the U.S. Numerous states, particularly in the Midwest, have county level ceding authority, and many counties have adopted prohibited ordinances for wind development. It goes on to say currently in Iowa, there's 16 of the 99 counties have stringent restrictions. And then on the back of that page, the very top, it says there is no room for more wind without new transmission, which also faces opposition. And we're talking about Iowa. So basically what they're saying is our transmission lines, there's not enough, there's no more room for more wind. until that gets addressed. So why would we want to put something up when there's questions about that? That's my question. And then they got a couple maps showing where the wind energy project is now on the left, and then the one on the right is projected wind. I see Louisa County's not even colored there, so I don't know.
Well, the other one that I found interesting was this colored one in the front,
Yes, that's
That
the other one.
shows-
Yep,
where it's good to have potential for wind energy and when it's not, and we're in the area where it's not.
correct,
Advantageous to put,
exactly.
so, I mean, that's a good thing.
But it's all based on that the year 2050, everybody needs to be zero carbon, and that's, I got my,
We'll see how that works.
yeah, that's what I agree. So basically, I guess that's what I just wanted to share with you. Hopefully, something you can look at.
I appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Bet.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other public input? No? Okay, variable changes, I'll have one. Think you guys had time to see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Move that one along. All right, item number 8, so discussion with Vicky on her retirement. I think that's it. Hi.
Hi. This kind of probably blindsides you, but it's something I've been thinking about for a while. I met my 88 in December, and since my husband passed, it's kind of been, I've not been, I needed a change. And so after January 1st, I had put feelers out looking for something less stressful, something to change. And I was presented it on Wednesday, the day after our board meeting. I was offered a position to work remotely from home starting July 1st. So I chose to retire June 30th. That'll be my last day. I will still be around, like I've told my staff, I'm working really hard to get them there. Beth is doing an awesome job learning. She has been, since she has been in the office, learning my position to do the jobs so that when I'm gone, she can do those. And they're doing a great job learning things. I do think that we need to advertise and get someone hired as soon as we can to try and get someone trained on at least the basics, because we do have one going on maternity leave in September. So we need that person to be able to do the basics.
Go
So,
ahead and handle that.
okay, and I wanted to get permission to do that. I'm gonna look at my budget, make sure I can handle a month's worth of salary, because I know we can't do another amendment, but I wanted to get board approval before I move forward with that.
I think that sounds logical.
I don't think we have a choice on that.
And in my letter of retirement, I did want to recommend that to fulfill the rest of my term. I think Beth would be awesome to be appointed to fulfill that part of the term. It would avoid the thousands of dollars for a special election. She's also very capable, willing to do it, and knows a lot of the parts of that job. So I do think that would be a very good choice.
Susan informed me that we wouldn't be able to appoint until after that position is vacated, technically, so.
And the first meeting is July 1st, which would work out perfectly.
Perfect, there you go. So we'll work towards that. Thank you for your years of service. I know
Yeah.
you've been here a long time and worked really hard and
34 years,
um,
long time.
Have you guys considered combining maybe the treasurer's office with the recorder?
that discussion is not.
Nobody's interested in doing that and saving the
But
county some money that
I
way.
don't know that that's,
Okay, just wanted to know what your opinion was.
thanks for throwing that chunk out of the back row. I didn't even think about it.
We've talked about it before with you.
Okay. All right, well, I guess we can't not accept it, technically.
I know that, believe me, it's just,
It's time
For
for
my-
life change.
it is, for me, it is, and I know I will miss it. I get emotional when I think about it, but it's time for a change for me.
I wish you all the best and I
Thank
think
you.
it'll be
And
an
good luck and
interesting
thank you for
Thank you.
the years.
Okay. Item number 9 is the driver's license.
Yeah, no, number 8 affects number 9 a little bit. We were already on the agenda prior to this coming up on Wednesday. After going back to my office after the decision to extend 6 months, I should have brought my entire staff with me when we had that meeting because they have a lot of input. So I'm gonna kind of let Beth maybe speak on some of those. I will bring up a couple to begin with. It was brought back to my attention when I got back to the office that we really never mentioned that the reason this all got brought up was financial, to get rid of the driver's license. And none of what is being done is really changing that. Which is true. We're not answering the financial part of things. Also with me leaving, that leaves one person to do drives. And she's going on maternity leave in September, and as she gets closer to her due date, I don't believe she's safely should be giving drives. So that puts a big strain on the office. Before we came over for the meeting, Julie and I had discussed, because at that time, we thought we were still ending in May. And I discussed with her, I said, if the county comes to a situation where we could bring it back, is that difficult? And she's like, absolutely not. All we'd have to do is send a 2080, bring you the equipment, get the trainings out of the way, and you'd be back up and running. So with that being said, my thoughts are we need to leave it at ending as of May. Wait till the DOT is still working on those things. If they get those things implemented to make things better, we get staff back in the office, get that training done and things. And if they feel they can handle that, then bring it back. Because I think the way things are right now, I think it's gonna be too much. And, but that's my opinion. I want to let Beth speak on the behalf of the girls as well, if she would like to.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Vicky. I think there's gonna be a lot going on, a lot of training. It's gonna be a lot just to keep up with the day-to-day and get in the training that needs to be done. And, I mean, driver's licenses you don't know what you're gonna walk into when someone comes in. If it's gonna be a 15-minute appointment or it's gonna be an hour with one person. Things just easily get put off to the side and training doesn't get done, which is gonna be very essential. Like, we want the office to run smoothly. We want, the customers to be happy. And I mean, I just think that we really aren't gonna have the time for it, that we should put into it.
I had spoke to Julie after the meeting Tuesday, and she had suggested that I not do any advertising of the 6-month extension yet because we had to get all of our ducks in a row with them. So I had not even published it yet that we were extending 6 months because we hadn't got the appointments set up with them. That was going to take a little time. So she said, rather than put something out there that we really don't know the answer to, let's wait. She said, till we get some of this lined up before you start putting those ads out there. They were working on them in the background, but I had not published them. So that works a little in the favor on this part.
Well, I can tell you that I've had a lot of communications about this from the outside public. I've had exactly 4 emails, 2 texts, and 6 phone calls about it. All of them want to keep the driver's license station. No one said were okay with getting rid of it. My feeling is that where I sit, I'm an elected official and I'm elected by the people of Louisa County and I'm their voice. So if they're telling me they want me to keep it, then I'm here to honor what their requests are. I understand the situation. I get it. I'm a little worried that once it's gone, that it won't come back. It's my fear. You'll get used to operating the office without having it there, and then if it ever gets brought back up, it'll be really. This has been kind of a, I'm not gonna go so far as say nasty battle, but it's been kind of contentious back and forth here the last month or two. Kind of tired of talking about it, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
But that's my position.
I do want to speak on the handful that you got. We have gotten quite a few people that come into the office. Yeah, you have your couple that are, the squeaky wheel is always the loudest one, so you always hear from them, but the ones that are okay with things don't always call you and say, hey, I'm fine with this. So we hear a lot of people coming in saying, hey, we understand. You know, this is, we get it, we're not happy about it, but it happens, we understand. So I think, this is just my opinion, I think you've got a lot more people that understand what's going on. You just always hear from the ones that are not happy.
I understand. I also want it to be known that it was kind of put out there that this was a supervisor's decision to close it. At this point, it's not.
It's not entirely at this point, no,
Yeah.
it was brought up by the supervisors to begin with. Because we hadn't brought it up to begin with, because we weren't thinking of getting rid of it, we were just trying to find ways to make it keep working. This, right now, I'll take wholeheartedly on this one. I'm the one bringing it to you saying we need to end it because of the situation. I'll take that on my back.
Well, I've been in favor of closing it anyway, but I think, one of the things that gets overlooked is that all of us in some fashion or form pay tax dollars to support the DOT in the state. And this is a DOT program. And then they shove this off on the counties and the taxpayers are paying again because they don't fund it or staff it. And so the smaller counties are paying twice to get the same service that is furnished by the state in the bigger counties. And to me, that if they want us to do it, that's fine. They need to fund it or staff it. That's my take on it. So I don't think it's fair to the smaller counties to the state to shove another thing off on them that they're already being taxed for and then get taxed for it again. So I don't have any problem with closing it. Everybody knows that anyway.
I'm looking at you.
Well, I see both sides, but I guess I'm leaning towards keeping it open for right now, but. So, is Caitlin the only one? I mean, are you capable of giving drives? I mean,
I'm not certified.
You're not certified?
No, and it's not as easy to become certified as what it once was. When I used to do drives and then I left and worked in the assessor's office for about 2 years and then came back and they wouldn't keep my certification. And now it's like it's a
very
lengthy
long
process.
You have to take like 18 online courses, then you have to go through, a certified drive, then someone has to come and ride with you, then they have to ride on while you give a drive. It's probably a 3-month process to just get someone certified to give drives. And time to do those trainings is a struggle, even right now with the 4 of us. So once I am gone and they have a new person, that's gonna be just that much harder. Julie has made it very clear that it is not hard to get it back once, if you do end it in May. It is not hard to get it back. So that is not an issue. But it's ultimately not my decision, but I highly recommend for you, just so you know, when I went back after that meeting on Tuesday, I heard different things like, I can find different job. This is gonna be too much, from some of my staff. So I would hate to see you end up with losing even more people. I'm not leaving because of that, but I'm leaving for my own personal retirement, but I would hate to see that because I've invested a lot of years in that office and I would hate to see you go through that and have to start from scratch. Because you have a very qualified, very awesome staff right now in there that do a very good job, and I would hate to see that happen. If
Yeah,
you overstress them and do that. But that's just me speaking and that's my opinion.
yeah, I don't wanna see that either, but I've talked to other counties that are our size and they're running their office with 4 people and currently doing the driver's license and.
Well, I'm not gonna be the board chair that won't bring it up and ask for a motion, but as it stands right now, it's open until November, but I'll open the floor up for a motion if you decide you want to put something out there.
Well, I would make a motion that we go ahead and let it close May 30th. And I'm not opposed to if 2 years down the road or a year down the road, the state has their ducks in a row and show that their new programs are working somewhere else. Readdressing it, but, I was a little leery of all the promises they made the other day anyway and how quickly those will be implemented, so.
All right, well, I have a motion on the floor. Second. I'll die for lack of second. So I guess at this point, it's still open. So we need to get someone hired. And if that person is hired or someone within needs to start training as soon as possible to fill that position. I guess I'll look about is gonna be you're the one that's kind of driving the boat here. So,
Yeah,
I guess if you don't get a show of hands, you're just gonna have to point to somebody and say you're doing it.
Here's my question. Are we leaning toward appointing Beth so I know what to do? Because I'm trying to get all the ducks in a row, so things are as organized as possible when I leave. So if I know that you're looking at appointing her, then I can get things directed that direction as far as getting things set up. I just want to know for sure.
He seems to be the most logical choice.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure before I start
When
getting
and
things
if
lined
that
up.
comes up for vote, you should probably abstain.
Right.
Just so it's,
Yeah, exactly.
but I think
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was,
she'll do a wonderful job.
I agree. So I just wanted to make sure I could start getting things lined up in that
She's
direction.
the one
So,
with the most seniority there and
Yes.
knows everything.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get this advertised.
Okay. I'll get with
Try to
you.
make this transition as easy as we can.
mhm.
I would ask within to see if anybody wants to do it. I'm sure nobody's gonna jump up and down, but, and then you'll have to figure out your scheduling so that.
and it probably will be,
Very limited.
But
yeah. I mean, yeah,
1 or 2 a week or whatever it is. I don't,
yeah,
just adjust your schedule to how you can handle it.
Yeah.
Okay. That it?
That-
Move on.
That's it.
Okay, all right. I don't want to cut you off. Got something
No.
else to say, let me know. All right.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
you bet. Move forward.
Ready?
Item number 10, need a motion to open a public hearing on decommission plan number 6.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, we're gonna open public hearing for, county ordinance decommissioning plan number 6. Any written or oral comments on this? No? I'll read item number 6, just so people in the audience know where we're going with this. The Louisa County decommissioning plan, item number 6, a provision that the terms of the decommissioning plan shall be binding upon the owner or operator or any of their successors, assigns, or heirs. Any sale or transfer of management shall notify the zoning administrator no later than 10 days after sale or transfer. If failure to notify the zoning administrator, special use permit can be rescinded and a new special use permit may be required. So this is for preventing people from selling it and getting away from anything. They're binding them to the sale, if they die, their heirs, so we can hold them accountable.
What brought this to light was the sale of this current solar project down here.
Well, it wasn't really the sale, it was a change of management.
Change of management, but yeah, and
And then they acted like they wasn't aware of the
Yeah.
decommission bond.
It wasn't their problem now because they weren't.
the bond has to be reestablished every 5 years so that make sure it has enough money at current rates to do the decommissioning, so.
I may ask a question. So is that kind of the trend that once it's built and then operational while that gets in the hands, somebody else's hands? It seems like you hear a lot of that.
It's more than a trend.
But basically, most all of them get sold immediately. And then I think this one's changed hands 2 times, I think. But the management can change at any time.
They want to.
Yeah, like the one up north, they already said as soon as they get it built, they're selling it to an energy company. So,
This is any business sale, you say any?
No, this is written into the decommissioning plan for solar and
Solar. How'd you come up with a number 10? Because to appeal your taxes, you get 20 days. To sign over papers, in essence, more or less 30 days. 10 days and kind of short. Especially when you start transitioning, get lawyers involved.
it doesn't mean that they have to have all their paperwork done. It means they need to notify us that it's being sold.
Being so.
Yes. We're changing hands in some manner, so.
Any more questions?
Wasn't the reapplication fee past the 10 days, like $10,000?
Yeah.
I mean,
The cost.
It was
It might be
trying to put a
15.
little teeth in it, wasn't it?
yeah, because this last company, Planera was giving them, they were the management company, they were giving zoning the runaround on getting the new bond, and then we didn't have no teeth in it, so now there's financial penalty if you don't get this bond in place. That's the whole point of it, is to encourage them to follow what they said they would.
Anybody else? No, we'll move along now.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Thank you.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, item number 11 is the approval of the first reading of the decommissioning plan, item number 6, amendment. I look for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve the decommissioning plan.
All second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, item number 12 is Adam. Adam, what do you got? You're on deck. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the nap back there.
Sorry.
I told you.
Weekly update. Got the little bridge, east of Oakville, replaced last week, had a 16-foot bridge, knocked it down, replaced it with a 9 or 10-foot tank car. So it's done, met with the drainage district person and they're happy with it, so. Got that one done, working on, removing some railing, over west of the quarry now. I got some railing that was put in there a long time ago. It's too low and it washes out all the time, so it's just, needs to go. Other than that, we're still hauling rock and stuff. Looking to get, going on mowing this week, plan to get it all mowed before Memorial Day. Doing everything works out okay, that should be able to happen. Or all paved roads, before, or Memorial Days, usually are planned, so we work on that. Got word from, Mac and Henderson, who, supply our truck and box and wings and all that for our dump trucks, that because Mac was a little bit slow, Henderson is not gonna be able to get their box done, work done before the end of the fiscal year. And that's like $122,000 for that. So, we'll probably try to buy some of our 2026 equipment into 2025, so that we're not 122,000 over next year, so. So we're working on getting that straightened out, it's fine. Other than that, we're busy, yeah, in the office, we're doing, kind of finish up, getting some payments done on the first part of the asphalt project that we've done. We're working on getting the bridge plans for the K Road to the DOT here next week. So it's been busy, I guess, so.
I had one complaint, of a washed out shoulder. Is it X17 right by Wheelies?
Okay.
Is that X17?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, at the turn, Wheelies towards Orange Junction, the shoulders washed out. Kind of big.
Is that coming off the?
I don't know how far down the road is. I just had someone alerted me to it. And I
Okay.
said I would say something to you, so
Yep.
let's take a look at that.
We'll have to check it out, so.
Okay.
Adam, any word on, when the DOT is gonna have a meeting about tying 61 together?
Haven't heard an update on that. My last thing I heard was early July, but, I can ask him again and see.
I think the last time I asked you it was supposed to be in May.
Okay, no, yeah. I can reach out on that for next week though, so.
Well, of sorts, you don't have a windscreen paper for me to.
I know, no windstream, so.
Okay, you're done, we'll move along. Thanks, Brad.
Yep.
I look, for a motion to open a public hearing on the Wise County Ordinance 13.1.
We'll make the motion, to open up the public hearing on ordinance 13-1.
I will second
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
it. All right.
All right, we're in here. Any written or oral comments? Susan? No? Okay. This is the, ordinance to adopt, our local, traffic code to our local ordinance. So essentially, it's a municipal infraction for the county, for the lack of a better word. Any, fines or stuff that are written, I would assume it's on a different form, not a state form.
There will be a state use form on tracks, and, the court will still take their fees out of the citation.
So the county gets to retain 80%, 60%.
So it's difficult to say due to we're gonna mimic the state's amounts.
Okay.
So like an insurance ticket's $400, and court fees are $55.
Yeah.
We essentially should be able to keep the rest of it.
Okay.
But most tickets are now $400 in the $100 to $200 range. So when I came up with that revenue, I just thought about $100 times 600 tickets, $60,000 revenue. That's kind of what my thoughts were.
Right now, we're getting what, like 5%?
Yeah. Some of them are a little higher, maybe on insurance, but yeah.
Rest goes to the state, so we'll be able to retain a lot of this revenue. The question may be asked, I'll go ahead and read it. Line item 13.6, the use of funds. The funds generated from the payment of the collection of fees and fines shall be deposited in the Wise County General Fund under the sheriff's revenue. So there's someone who's gonna ask that question, where the money's going. Any public input on this? No, I'll move forward.
Motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're gonna go to number 14. We're gonna read the, take a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 13.1.
I'll make that motion to approve first reading of ordinance 13.1.
No second.
Discussion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, item number 15 is a tobacco license for Casey's. I had one in my email, I guess I'll have a hard copy. This is the one on Newport.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I look for motion to approve tobacco license for Newport Casey's.
I'll make a motion to approve the Newport Casey's tobacco license.
I'll second that.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item number 16 is the resolution, Adam has extended an offer to, Mr. Thomas Gage for an assistant Louisa County attorney, effective July 1st of this year. We're looking for a spot to put him. I think he may end up down here at the end of this building, in that little office, Brian's old office. I was trying to get him into the courthouse, just felt like that was the place he needed to be. Just doesn't seem like there's a good home there for him, so. Until we can come up with a better solution, that's probably where he'll be. But with that being said, I would look for a motion to accept resolution 202-520, the appointment of, Thomas Gage.
Can we have a discussion? Is this a new position?
No.
No.
No,
So the old one happened, or just moving?
Dave is retiring, Dave Matthews. Adam is the now.
And who's gonna be, or you're looking for? County assistant.
Thomas Gage
This will be a replacement for Dave.
for Dave. His Adam is the,
And since he's leaving, he's not using his office in,
he still has
He
his
still has
private
his private
practice,
practice.
so his office is still there.
okay.
He just won't be doing county.
He didn't have an office in the county facility. He had his own office.
So
Where is he?
where is he?
Meaning, where is his office and where's he from?
Van Buren wasn't he?
Yeah, Van Buren County, yeah.
Van Buren
He's still
Did he move
gonna
into
be-
the county? Or,
Well, I assume he's gonna move in. I
Boy,
guess
I
I
don't
don't
have
know.
that drive every day.
that isn't what I asked.
I
think he was-
assume, yes, he would be here. Yes,
Is he gonna practice with Adam then, do you think, or?
I guess would be yes, but I can't speak for Adam.
Okay.
My understanding he's doing part-time.
And he's doing part-time. with
How old a fella is he? I never met him or anything.
Didn't ask that question. I didn't think that was.
Well,
relevant for you.
Yeah, I didn't know if he'd bring a family or what's.
Okay, still look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 202520.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. That's it. Item number 17 is adjournment. Look for motion for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I have to call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you.